Summer is upon us, and with temperatures already flirting aggressively with the 40s, things are getting hot.
Oh yeah!
Not that kind of hot, but dangerously hot. With heat waves spreading their fingers slowly across the world, we've already discussed the environmental impact of heat waves and the human cost. But what exactly happens to your body as the temperature gets hotter? What are the physical and the biological changes you have to endure in, say, 30 degrees Celsius heat, or 39 degrees Celsius, or the horrific 45 to 50 degree peak heat we face in the summers every year? How long before you go from saying, oh, it's a little toasty here, to saying, oh my god, I'm suffering multiple organ failure? And how hot does it have to get before you're literally cooked alive? Humans are endotherms, which is just a fancy way of saying we are warm-blooded animals. This means our internal temperature stays stable despite external temperature changes. So if it's hot outside, your body tries to get cooler. But if it's cold outside, your body tries to get warmer. For context, our internal temperatures are somewhere around 36.8 degrees Celsius, give or take 0.5 degrees. When the outside temperature falls, your body generates heat to compensate for the difference. When the outside temperature is higher, your body compensates by sweating to release internal body heat, which is why you sweat in the heat and not in the cold. But while humans are remarkably capable of survival, you can't fight biology and nature. As the temperature rises or falls beyond a certain point, your body's ability to compensate reduces. At 0 degrees, your body is cold. It has to compensate for the 36 degree external difference in temperature. This is hard, so you wear sweaters, layers and blankets. Or you get close to someone you love.
Oh yeah!
At these temperatures, being out in the cold without any clothes can lead to many things that sound really cool but really aren't. Like frostbite, hypothermia, windburn, and if you suffer from breathing or heart problems, you could suffer some very serious consequences. So obviously, keep yourself warm and don't do this.
You're kidding.
As the temperature rises, your body has to generate less and less heat. At 7 degrees Celsius, the weather is cold but still tolerable. Now, the most pleasant outside temperatures lie in the 15 to 22 degree temperature range with no major problems for most people. Your body compensates for the external temperature difference by warming itself up from the inside. But our heat right now is more in the range of the 40s, which, to put it politely, is really hot. If your body's internal temperature falls by 2 degrees below 37, you'll experience hypothermia. Now, when it starts rising, you start experiencing something called hyperthermia. At 38 degrees Celsius, you start feeling very tired and you start sweating profusely to cool yourself off. As your temperature climbs higher, your kidneys start to struggle to keep up with the excess sweating and dehydration. You're losing a lot of fluids at this point. In the next few minutes, you're likely to experience confusion, fatigue, and nausea. Meanwhile, your muscles start to cramp because you've lost so much sodium and other electrolytes from sweating. And drinking more water at this point just makes this worse because you're diluting your body's sodium reserves even further. What you need at this point is an electrolyte drink, but you can't get one because you don't know this. As your cramps get worse, soon you'll be in pain so intense you can barely stop screaming, let alone walk. As you approach 39 degrees Celsius, your heart has trouble pumping blood. Your body is trying to release heat in any way it can, which makes your blood vessels dilate fully to let the heat dissipate. But this lowers your blood pressure because the blood has more space to move through. At the same time, the loss of fluids means the heart has less volume of blood to pump, which is around the same time you start feeling faint or when you lose consciousness. Now you're lying passed out in the heat and your internal temperature is slowly getting hotter. When your body's internal temperature hits 40 degrees Celsius, that's when you start to die. Your organs slowly start to fail. You can suffer heat stroke and die from this in under 30 minutes if you don't receive immediate cooling and hydration. At 41 degrees Celsius, you could suffer a stroke, heart failure, multiple organ failure, and just drop dead where you stand. And that's usually a bad thing. Imagine an egg in a microwave. That's what happens to the human body at this point. The heat starts to denature the proteins in your body, and in short, you get cooked alive. Recovering from this point is very difficult, and that's not me saying it. That's from a medical expert. It's smarter to practice prevention and stay hydrated, cool, and comfortable in the heat. Drink plenty of electrolyte-rich drinks like Nimbu Pani, oral rehydration solution, coconut water, and avoid prolonged direct exposure to the sun. If you're middle class like me, you can afford this at least sometimes. But what happens to the lakhs of people who can't afford to do that? What happens to the poor family of 4 who barely have anything to eat, let alone cold drinks, air conditioning, and fans? Well, until we stop climate change or find a solution to this crisis, whether on an environmental or a governmental scale, they'll unfortunately, depressingly, just have to get cooked alive, which is the grimmest reality of this heat wave.